Hey everybody, Mark Vanny here, voice actor, producer, and creator of ExtraNots, the animated series. I've produced on a bunch of animated titles, including Rick and Morty, F is Her Family, Curious George, and a few others, but I mostly spend my time now doing voice work for animation, commercials, video games, dubbing, and also making ExtraNots in my spare time when I'm not making these lovely videos for you fine people. So last year, I made an hour-long how-to video on my entire animation process, this guy here. It covered writing, animation, voiceover, rigging, and editing. And then I recently did a poll on my YouTube and Patreon channels asking what people would like to see more of. And it was a resounding character voiceover. So here we are. So first, we're going to quickly cover my recording setup. Then I'm going to jump into where I find inspiration for my character voices. Then we'll touch on where you might be able to find some for yours. And then we'll cover the editing process. Okay, before I forget, yes, I do have a Patreon. If you want to go there and sign up and help me out, that'd be great. If not, just make sure you sign up for the channel, subscribe, all that stuff. You know what to do. Now, before I go too far, if you're looking for one of those videos that teaches you how to make character voices using AI, this is not the video for you. Have I heard them? Yes. Do I think they sound good? No, they're terrible. But if you watch to the end of the video, you might find out that you have the chops to voice your own characters. That is the purpose of this video. Maybe. No promises, but maybe. So, what does it take to create a great character voice? Well, my favorite take on this is from Hank Azaria of The Simpsons. In his own words, his character voices are just really bad impressions. So his Lou the Cop is just a bad Stallone. His Mo is just a gravely Al Pacino. His Mayor Quimby is just a bad JFK. They're all just pulled from other characters. Again, not perfect impressions, bad impressions. That's where you get your character voices from. Jim Cummings has a similar take. He says, if you can do a really good impression, it can probably get you some work. But if you can do a bad impression that no one can tell what you're doing, you've found an original character. So you might. So for the characters in my show, I went with a more natural sound. Hindsight, I kind of wish I made them a little bit sillier, but here we are. I mean, I could probably redo them. Would anyone notice? I don't know. Depends how many people are watching. Maybe I could. So just quickly rattling through my characters. First, we have Rex. Rex is basically just my voice. I just talk a little bit lower. He's Rex. He's down here. And then I pitch it down a little bit. So I just talk like this. I pitch it down. Here's Rex. He's my main guy. So for Casey, who's his daughter, I just spoke in a higher voice. And then I pitched her up a little bit right up here. So this is where Casey lives. And I just kind of talk up high. And I pitch it a little more. And that's where I get Casey from. And then my personal favorite character from the show is Mr. And he's down here. He's Mr. Carmichael. Now that voice came from a character of a friend that I came up with. It was just a silly voice we were doing one day. And his name was Mr. Carmichael. He's a brass man. I work in brass. My father worked in brass and his father worked in brass. And then I just took that and I drop it down as low as I can. And I talk like this. And then I add a little from the telephone filter in Adobe Audition. And it sounds like it's coming out of a speaker. There's Mr. Here we are. I love him. Cindy, I voiced for the first 2 episodes and I hated it. Basically, I just talked in a hi Valley girl kind of up here and I kind of talk like Valley and then I pitched it and it was, not very good. So I'm glad that I found a local voice actress, Vass, who voiced her in episode 4, who did an amazing job. And I will continue to get her as I keep doing the voice for her because mine was awful. And then Wazzy, again, I want to get someone else to voice him. I need to meet more voice actors here in town. For him, his character has a voice modulation box in surgery installed into his voice. So he talks like it's super distorted. So I just gotta talk like this, or I just distorted a bunch. And it's just, not my favorite. Hopefully I can find someone else to help voice him in the future. So for voicing animated characters, the bigger the range you have opens up more possibilities of different types of characters that you can voice. So when it comes to finding those varieties, it's mostly 4 different factors. First, obviously, there's pitch, that's low to high. And then there's also tone, so like raspy, nasally, that kind of stuff. And then obviously rhythm, is it fast or is it slow? And then energy, is it calm or is it more explosive? So when I'm trying to find a voice for a character, I usually just start with my gut of how I think the character should sound. And then I just go through these 4 different factors and kind of tweak, go higher, lower, or nasally, or raspy, or faster, or slower, or calm, or energetic. Just play with those 4 different factors based on what you think it should sound like, and then you might find it. That's what I do. Sometimes it happens really fast. Sometimes it can take a day or 2 or more to find the perfect voice for that character. You never know. So to give you an idea about my range, about kind of where I can go, and then some preferred go-tos, like some stock voices that I go to, I'll just rattle through them. Maybe it'll give you some ideas for your characters. So first we got our Raspies, our Clint Eastwoods. We're down here. You can get your tough guys, your mafia guys, your old mans. They're all down here in Raspy. That's a fun place to find some fun voices. Just work down in this raspy world. And then you got your doofus voices, your Patrick Stars, your Peter Griffins, your Homer Simpsons. Again, these are not great impressions, but just go down in this world. It helps to do this with your mouth sometimes, I find. That's how you can really get it.
And then you get your young voices. You can come up really high. You can sound like a boy. You can sound like kind of a nerdy boy or a tough boy.
This is a fun place to find some young kid voices.
And then the high pitch, you got the mafia cronies, we're up here. Hey, jog his memory, Bruno. You got the sportscasters, the Harry Shearer, or the old prospector.
You kind of mix that high pitch with the old voice, put them together, you get the old prospector. You can find something. And then you have, your stock voices. You have the,
oh, bother, that dog from Disney.
I can't remember his name, but you know who I'm talking about.
And then that silly voice, if you go higher and go more nasally, you can find your Marvin Martians.
He's somewhere up there. Again, not very good. Another one of my favorites that are super high up that are just so silly. I used to do with some friends. I don't know if you guys remember Beasley from Care Bears. He's up super high and really raspy. I think it was John Stalker that did his voice. He's up here and he's like,
oh, Bo Screechy. He's up here. He's so silly. And he's like, no, Screechy.
His voice is so outrageous and so hilarious that he's just, my favorite voice in the entire show. I don't remember any other character from that show except his voice was so over the top. Yeah, just silly. Go for it. Another good example of finding a pitch and then just adding something to it. So if we talk up high, up here in one straight level, and then add a little bit of raspy to it, you might get a Morty. He just kind of tucks up here like this. Again, I don't do a great Morty, but it's just finding something, sticking to it, and doing something silly that you think people might like. That's it. And I'm sure you've noticed even like Mr. Poopy Butthole from Rick and Morty is just Morty, but higher. So Justin he took Morty up here and then he just went a little bit higher. Oh, ooh, wee, oh boy. He just pushed Morty a little further and you get a totally different voice. People love that voice. It sounds like Lemon Grab, another voice that he did. He's got a sound, he picked it and he ran with it. That's it. And then if you go as high as you can, you might find,
oh, he's up here. There's Mickey. Oh, boy.
Again, it all comes with practice. You just got to mess around with it and you just might find what you're looking for. So basically all of my voices just come with me starting with one of these stocks and just messing around until I find something that I think is fun. If you do this as a voice actor, it will definitely get you more work because, again, bigger range so you can nail certain auditions better. But even if you book a gig, you can get in there and they might ask you to do extra voices. Like, can you do this? Can you do this? And if you can, and they record you, then you'll get paid more because you're in the booth longer. So it's just better for you if you can do more voices instead of just one voice. And yes, before you say it, there are exceptions like the John H. Benjamins who just have an amazing voice. They like Archer, everything, Bob's Burgers, everything he voices, he just has that's his voice. If you have that and you can do that, absolutely do it. I'm jealous because I don't have that voice, so I have to rely on doing as much as I possibly can. Okay, so before we get into you finding the voices for your project, let's quickly cover the recording because it's super important. Having a good audio quality obviously sounds really good. I'm sure if you hear some stuff where the audio is not great, it just pulls you out of the experience, so you want it to sound as good as possible. When I first started, I just had some dinky little pads on the wall in front of me, in front of my computer. It sounded terrible. I was immediately not happy with it. So in my office, I used this closet. I filled it with pads, like foam pads. I had a cheap mic USB going into the computer. It's small. I wish it was bigger so I had more room to move around, but it is what it is. And that sounded okay. And then for the second, I used money from my Patreon. And I thank very much to my Patreon people. I got a better mic, which has a large diaphragm going into an audio interface. It's the M Audio M-Track Solo is what I'm using. And the mic I'm using now is a large diaphragm condenser microphone, specifically the EM91C. So it sounds way better. I'm so glad I did it. Again, thanks again to the Patreon people for helping me out with that. Okay, so finding the character voices for your project. Let's do it. Now, you might be saying to yourself, Mark, I'm not a voice actor. I can't do what you can do. I don't know if I can do this. Well, it depends on what you're trying to make for your show. Is the character voice that you want to make within your range? Meaning, like, are you trying to do a super high-pitched, silly voice, but you have a deep voice? It might not work out. If you're trying to do a voice that you think that you can do, well, just try and try. Just like any skill, you got to practice. Just because you can't nail it right away in your first take doesn't mean you're not going to be able to find it. Any skill, they all take practice. It's no different. Now, when I say just go for it, I don't mean shout, I don't mean yell. I just mean you just need to let go of your inhibitions, because once you do that, then you're really able to have the performance come out. So whether it's silly or intense or moody or dramatic, just keep trying and practice, practice, practice. And I'm telling you, if you keep going, you're going to find something that you like. And don't forget to have fun with it. Just remember, like, if you're not having fun, it'll come through in the voice. If it's a silly character, you got to be silly. If it's a serious character, you got to be serious. It's acting. Voice acting is acting. And don't forget to get physical with your voice acting. And by that, I mean, if you got to drop your voice, you got to drop your voice. Like if I didn't drop my mouth, I couldn't achieve that sound with my voice. So if you have to do something with your face or your body to achieve it, just do it. Just try it. All right? You might be surprised. Okay, so finding the actual voice for your character. Rather than starting with the voice, I like to start with the character. Who are they? What is their personality? Are they tired? Are they high energy? Are they slow? Are they fast? So start with who the character is and then build the voice around that. And what do you think they sound like? There's a good chance that you have up in your head what you think they should sound like. So start with that and go from there. And when I say go from there, I mean what I talked about earlier with the pitch, with the tone, with the speed. Just try different variations of the voice of what you think it should sound like. So personally, for me, I like to start with what I think the character should sound like, and then I just push it further and further and further, and then sometimes I find it. If I don't, I go in a completely different direction, and then I find it somewhere else. You never know. So a good place to start is with the pitch. So either find your level, go really high, middle, low, and then add different tones to it. So different, raspiness or different rhythms, different energies. So for example, like Mr., I went as low as I can, and I can't go that low. This is basically my lowest register. And then I added a raspy to it. And then you found the character, Mr. Carmichael. And then it comes, again, his character is, the brass man. So I went low, added a raspy to it. There it was. And once you think you found the voice, do as many takes as you want. This isn't film. It doesn't cost money to do it. I mean, time is money, but it doesn't literally cost more money to do more takes. So just do more and more and more. A lot of times I'll find my favorite take at the very end. It's almost never at the beginning. And remember, voice acting is just like any other skill. It takes time. It takes practice. You're not going to nail it right away. It might take days or weeks to totally nail the voice that you want. Just like any other skill, just keep going. Practice, practice, practice. I mentioned earlier that I pitch my voices. Do it. Pitch it if you have to. I mean, if you pitch it too much, it's going to sound unnatural. Everybody does it. South Park does it. Trey Parker, Matt Stone. They don't sound exactly like those kids. They sound very close, and then they pitch it a little just to get it across the finish line. Do not be afraid to pitch your voice a little. If you do it too much, it will sound unnatural. So don't rely on the pitching, but don't be afraid to do it a little to achieve the perfect sound for your show. Okay, so let's say that you found your voice and you're ready to start recording. So for this example, I'm going to use a section from one of my shorts called Space Wars. Yes, it's about Star Wars. It's a conversation between Rex and Mr. and Casey, of whom I voice all three. And let's just jump in.
What? You've never heard of Star Wars?
Are you serious right now?
Here we go. How many wars were there?
No, it was just one war.
Then it really should be called the Star War.
Oh my god, she is serious.
It's wars.
Yeah, and there's no the.
Yeah.
All right, that's enough. Funny stuff. Check it out. Okay, so let's jump in here. Now, for recording these characters, I always like to start with the character I'm recording most of, whoever has the most lines, and then I build around them. So if we just go with what we saw, we started with Rex saying, "You've never heard of Star Wars?" So I've built out this multi-track in advance, cheating, yes, but here we are in Adobe Audition, which I use to record everything. I've got a line for Rex, a line for Casey, a line for Mr. So if we go File, New Audio File, we'll just call this Rex 01. You will do many takes. You'll end in Rex 02, 03, 05, 06, 07, infinity, swear words, it'll all get in there. So Rex 01, we'll just do a little section of it. We'll say, hold on, I'm going to use another mic for this one because technology. What? You've never heard of Star Wars? What? You've never heard of Star Wars? You've never heard of Star Wars? All right. So if we take that, we go back, we bring in Rex 01. All right, let's bring him in here. Here we go. Hold on, I'm going to use another mic. Okay, so let's cut out all the jibber jabber. Move this over. I got our 3 takes. You've never heard of Star Wars? Okay, that's 1 take. And then I'll cut my different takes into different different takes. So I've got 1, 2, 3, cut out all this stuff. So I've got 3 takes of Rex saying you've never heard
You've never heard of Star Wars?
And I'll pick my favorite.
You've never heard of Star Wars?
That one's all right.
You've never heard of Star Wars?
Doesn't really matter for this. Let's say that the third one's my favorite. So we'll get rid of the first one. Now with Rex, I mentioned earlier, I do pitch some of my characters. Rex, I do. I'm thinking of changing his voice moving forward because I don't think it's silly enough. It's very normal, neutral. I want to add a little more character to Rex, but that is another conversation. So for Rex, I'll show you what I added to him. He is just a -1 on the semitones and a -50 on the cents. So if we turn that on, we basically get how Rex sounds in the show. Let's take a listen.
You've never heard of Star Wars?
Pretty close. So that's my Rex. Pretty happy with that. All right, who's next? So next is Mr. So I believe his line is, "Are you serious right now?" So let's open a new audio file. We'll call that Mr. 01. Let's bring that up. All right, so we'll do a couple takes of him. "Are you serious right now? I like to find the voice first. Down here, Mr. Carmichael. And are you serious right now? Are you serious right now?" That's it. That's the one. Third one. So let's go back to this. Let's take our Mr. who we just recorded. Is this the one? "Are you serious right now?" First, find the voice. First, let's find it. Okay, so Mr. is going to go down here. That's the line for Casey. Spoilers. I think it was the third take we said, right? Okay, so it was the third one. "Are you serious right now?" That sounds pretty good. Again, this is not going to sound as good as what I do in my booth because the booth mic is much better going through the interface. This is just a cheap little desk mic, so this won't sound as good as what we see in the show. So now we have
Star Wars?
Are you? Gotta punch him up a little. Mr. I mentioned I add a little effects to him. So with Mr., with his line selected, I'll go here in my dialogue section. I repair and reduce noise on add dynamics and reduce noise on all of my clips. Let's not forget to do that to Rex. So add dynamics, reduce noise. Let's go back to Mr. Now with him, he has a from the telephone filter, which makes him sound like this.
Are you serious right now?
Are you serious right now? It sounds like it's coming out of a speaker. Make sure there's a nice little overlap between the two lines so it sounds natural.
Star Wars?
Are you serious? Okay, that sounds okay. So now we need Casey. She goes, here we go. How many wars were there? So with Casey, I talk basically as high as I can and add a little bit of a pitch to it to make her sound a little more feminine. So let's do Casey. She says, how many wars were there? How many wars were there? Here we go. How many wars were there? Forgot about the here we go. So let's bring that over to this. Let's find Casey, who we just recorded. Bring her in. Is this it? The one here? Here we go. How many wars were there? Okay, that's all right. So that's the take that we'll use. Again, I am rushing through this. Normally, I will listen to all 3 of my takes. And then pick my favorite, but just for demonstration purposes, we're just going to go with, the one that I want in this moment. Again, with Casey, I add a little filter to her. She is +1 in semitones and nothing in the cents. That gives me the sound that I like for her. So let's just see what that sounds like. Here we go. How many wars were there? It's okay. I look forward to casting a female voice actor to do Casey in the future because I'm not in love with Casey's voice. It's okay. But anyways, here we are. Let's not forget to add the reduced noise and dynamics to Casey. Now we got all 3. It'll sound a little muffled at first when you first add those. Here we go. See how it's kind of muffled? Here we go. Hey, it's gone. So when you add those repair and dynamics, it always comes out a little muffled at first, and then it goes away. So all 3 put together, what do we get? Let's see.
You've never heard of Star Wars?
Are you serious right now?
Here we go. How many wars were there?
She should come in a little sooner, cut him off a little bit.
Right now?
Here we go. How many wars were there?
So that's it. So this is just a small section of what I would do for the show. Again, I would do one character the whole way through, next character with the most lines, and then less character lines, move on, add. I'll put this all in one line just like this, you'll see. So this is for example, this is kind of what my whole episode would look like. This is a tiny section, but it'll be the entire episode in one entire audio file. I'll select all of them, and then I'll say File, Export, Selected Clips. What I have selected, I will say where I want it to go, MP3, that's fine. and I'll export it, and that's it. I've got my audio file, and I'm ready to listen to that over and over and over. Think of better jokes, realize I want to deliver a line better in another way, do it again and again and again, and then, okay, I'm happy with that. Cool, let's move on. And then you go into animation, and that is it. That's the whole process that I do. And once you think you're done, don't just say, I'm done. Play it for someone that you trust that can give you honest feedback. If it's unrecognizable, if they can't understand what you're saying, they need to tell you that. If they don't get a joke, they can tell you. If you get it and you want to keep it in, fine. But if they literally cannot understand what you're saying, then take the advice, do it again, just until it is, readable, listenable, understandable. And I'm not just saying your girlfriend, or your boyfriend, or your mom, or your dad. Play it for someone who will give you real, honest advice. There's people that will just say, it's great, no matter what we do. You want feedback from like a close friend that will say, not it's crap, but like, I think you could go further, or I couldn't really understand that line. Take their advice, record it again. It might be frustrating in the moment, but it'll be worth it. Trust me. Like I said, if you're new to this, it's going to take some practice. It'll take some time. Don't think you're going to nail it in the first take. I never nail my first take as the one that I keep. It always takes a few takes before I get what I'm happy with. Now, if you've done all of that and you're still not happy with what you have, in my opinion, it's one of three things. One, you just need more practice. Like I said, it's a skill. Like any skill, it takes time. So just keep trying and trying and trying, and you'll get there. Two, it is good enough. You're just being too hard on yourself. If this is the first time you're doing this, there's a chance that you're just not used to hearing your own voice, and our voices do sound different to us than they do sound to other people. So that's a bit of getting used to. So yeah, play it for someone that you trust that could give you good, honest feedback, and they might tell you, I love it. It's great. Good. Just put it in and move on. And three, you are just physically not able to produce the sound that you need for that character. So if you can't make the sound that you need for the character, there's a chance that you just can't do it. So you got to find someone else that can do the voice that you want, or be happy with what you can do and change the character voice to fit the character to your liking. And that's it. A quick overview of how I handle voiceover for animation. As always, please be sure to leave any comments that you have, any suggestions for future videos. Don't forget to sub to the channel if you haven't already. If you've made it this far, congratulations. I applaud you. Yeah, thanks for stopping by. I hope you learned something, and good luck with your project. I know it's a lot of work, but you can do it. Just keep going. Don't stop. Don't give up. Bye, everyone. See you around.